You're listening to the Naptime Empires podcast with my mom, Nikki Elledge Brown. Mom, your show's on.
Thanks, bud. I got it from here. Welcome to the Naptime Empires podcast, refreshingly honest conversations on the realities of parenthood and entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Nikki Elledge Brown. Let's get started. It's Naptime Empires on location. I mean, the season finale should be extra special, right? I'm not sure if you can tell. It may sound like I have a fake ocean waves track playing in the background, but in fact, I'm not in my usual studio because I don't live in that house anymore. A lot has happened in the last few months since the last episode that I published of the podcast. And in this episode, which is considered totally arbitrarily the season finale of season 1, I want to catch you up on where we were, where we are now, and where we're headed. So that's what we're going to cover. And it's actually really funny. So literally right now, I'm sitting on the deck of our family's beach vacation rental in Alabama. It's freaking gorgeous right now, and I apologize if there are windy noises and everything, but let me just model for you that it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be shared. And I've waited long enough to record this season finale and put a cap on this first season experience. But it's so gorgeous right now. Literally, I can see the moonlight on the Gulf of Mexico, on the water. My sister was just telling me I missed them earlier, but apparently there were dolphins out there earlier. It's just been a really magical week, so it feels really symbolic that I'm wrapping up this chapter in this very interesting season of my life in terms of this move from Hawaii to Texas. So again, just to catch you up on what's been going on, the last episode I published, I'm recording this now, it's August of 2017. There's some wind. The last episode that I published was in April of 2017. Because I was about to be going on a couple of trips to do some speaking at the 90-Day Year live event. And then my friend Jen Kim, she has an episode of Naptime Empires, her Seen Heard Paid live event, which was in Austin. Also, we were going to Texas to visit the house that we bought in March, sight unseen. I mean, we saw it on FaceTime and online, of course, but we hadn't seen it in person. So we had all this travel coming up, and I was like, okay, but I got to finish season 1. I got to do all this stuff. So I ordered this headset. It's a Logitech headset. I'll link to it in the show notes. And right now I feel like I'm working at a drive-thru because it's one of those, like it has the ear pad muff things and then the little microphone. So I don't have a pop filter. My P's and S's may sound a little extreme, but it's so funny because I bought that for traveling so that I didn't have to take my Blue Yeti mic and pop filter anytime that I wanted to record a podcast episode. But I kid you not, I ordered it maybe even in March. I was like premeditating that I was going to be recording on the go and blah, blah, blah. And then I ordered it. It sat in its wrapper container package thing until like this week when I was packing to come to Alabama for this family vacation. So baby steps, all it takes for building momentum is just some kind of micro movement. So I literally took this thing from Hawaii to Texas, to Hawaii, to Texas, to California for another trip, and blah, blah, blah. And then now that I brought it to Alabama, yesterday, I actually plugged it into my computer and I opened up QuickTime so that I could test and see how it sounds. And here I am, recording it, right? That's the power of micro momentum. So just do one thing. Anyway, we bought a house. We moved from Hawaii to Texas. It was a very interesting, we're still in the transition, right? Like it's going to take us a while to find our new normal. But it's been a really interesting move because we've known it was coming for so long. And then we put the offer in. Oh my gosh, I see fireworks right now. Are you kidding me? This is seriously finale. Perfect. I see fireworks in the distance. I'm not even kidding you right now. Okay, anyway, squirrel. We bought a house in March, but we couldn't really move in yet, even though we got to Texas. So it was kind of weird. We had this beautiful, like, last week's last vacation at Aulani in Hawaii. I love Hawaii. Hawaii will always feel like home. It's where I had my babies. It's where we started our family. It's where I started my business. Hawaii's always going to feel like home, just like Texas will always feel like home. And I could probably write a whole freaking book on our conversations. I call them Stories from a Screensaver in Hawaii. But nonetheless, I really wanted to be super present for that. And I don't mean present like in a mindful, meditative state all the time, but like For example, towards the end, the week before our stuff was being packed out, I was like, I just want to sit here and Netflix and chill one last time in this living room on this couch, because we're not going to have this living room. We'll have a big 2-story living room in our new house, and this is my last chance to just binge on Netflix. So I ended up watching Grace and Frankie, which I highly recommend. And I just enjoyed it. I just wanted to be there for that. And I let myself off the hook, and it was actually a beautiful thing. And I knew, even though I wasn't recording podcast episodes at the time, I knew I was going to want to encourage you to do the same whenever life needs more of your attention. To do the best you can, to let yourself off the hook and just know you have a limited amount of brain width and energy, because you are a human having a human experience. Divine being having a human experience. You do have limited brain width and energy, and it's okay. Sometimes life really demands more of your attention than business, and it's fine. I haven't gotten any hate mail from people being like, Nikki, WTF, where are your podcast episodes? I've definitely had people sure I am missing your podcast, but everyone understands that for me, in that moment in time, I wanted to just be present for the move, for myself, for my family. I knew that if I zoomed out and looked at my life on a timeline, I would never regret being really just present for that and not working the whole time or whatever. So anyway, there's lots we can say about this whole transition. Seriously, again, could write a whole nother book or do a whole season on it. But that's where we were. We were literally kind of all over the place, bouncing back and forth between Hawaii, Texas, California, back to Texas. Now I'm in Alabama, but where we currently are, literally right now, is Alabama, but we're finally moving in. We did a total renovation, kind of restyle to the inside of our house to get it exactly as we like it, which is really exciting. So we've been in our house for about a week before we actually came on this vacation. So what I'm really excited about is the opportunity to create our new routine. Bryson's going to be starting kindergarten. Deacon's going to be starting some form of Parents' Day Out. And we're going to figure out, what does this new chapter look like for us? One of my analogies that came to my mind, I did a guided visualization the other day, and I was doodling in my notebook and journaling, why do I feel stuck? And the aha that came to me was, you've been moving, but you're literally not moving. So it's as if I packed myself to protect myself throughout this move and throughout this season of life, because I've packed on a few pounds. I'm just going to be honest. That's okay. But I've packed on a few pounds, and I'm why do I feel stuck and whatever? And it's truly because I haven't been moving. I haven't actually been moving my body. I've been more sedentary than I have been in my whole adult life, even though I've been moving across a freaking ocean. And so I loved that idea that came to me last week. I think it was a divine download that it's time to literally unpack myself. I made it. I'm here. Well, again, figuratively here. Right now I'm not in my home. But in theory, I'm here and I'm safe and I can unpack myself now. And so I love that analogy, just passing that nugget along for you. Happy to go into more detail if you want to know kind of what that's looking like for me. But in the meantime, that's where I am right now. I'm finding my this side of the sea legs. I'm about to host my first in-person retreat, which is very exciting for some ladies who were part of my first trimester of Awesome. That's an exciting update too, that there will be a second trimester of Awesome. So stay tuned for that one if you want to be part of one of my mastermindy experiences. That's going to be coming up very soon. But right now I'm really just in a place of going with the flow and trusting that the next right step is always available, because it is. So that's where we are, in the wind, right now on the deck. And where we're headed, when I get back to Texas and I'm in my groove, back in my office, I really want to recap and celebrate season 1. When I first launched the podcast, I had in my mind this idea that I would do a little Facebook Live for every podcast and, pull out what my favorite nugget was and highlight to share it and then lead people back to the podcast. But I never did that. Again, I was just being honest with myself. I didn't have the brain width for that, so I didn't do it. However, now I do have the brain width. So I am going to be recapping and celebrating season 1. There will be a season 2. So let me just get my bearings, get this retreat going, celebrate and honor season 1 for what it was. Again, it's totally arbitrary, season 1 versus season 2. It's not like there's going to be a big shift or anything, although it'll be once a week as opposed to twice a week. But yeah, there will be a season 2. Let's party on season 1. Let's love on what our episodes were. I would love your voice in the conversation, in the playground. So I know a lot of people are closing their free Facebook groups lately, which is, I love, honestly, because it's a bunch of people just being like, well, not working for me anymore. okay, and standing in their power and knowing, oh, wait a second, it's my business. If I have a problem with how things are going, I should talk to my boss. However, the Naptime Empires Playground has never been a traditional groupie group, and I've always been very upfront about that. It's literally just a place for me to connect with you and get feedback, share ideas and inspiration without having to open up Infusionsoft, honestly, and without going to your inbox. If you're hanging out on Facebook, and I am too, then we might as well jam there. So that's what the playground is about, and I would love your voice in the conversation, because throughout season 2, and again throughout the recaps of season 1, I'm going to be posting, like a post for each episode, basically, so that I can get your feedback, your input. What do you want to go further in on? What are ideas you would like me to cover, or have other conversations that cover on various topics that apply to this Naptime Empire season of life, which is pretty much everything. It's life, it's business, it's self, it's relationships, it's all the things. It's a season of life that we're in. And so that's it. That's the finale. I mean, I can't believe we even had fireworks, for Pete's sake, and we have an actual, moonlit ocean waves in the background. This is ridiculous and amazing, and I'm really glad that I packed my drive-through headset so that we could cover this. Yeah, that's it. This is a wrap on season 1 of Naptime Empires. If I can leave you with one thing, I would love to make the bold ask. It's not really a bold ask, because you're right there listening to the podcast right now anyway. If you haven't yet, and I bet you haven't yet, I would love it and so appreciate it if you would go to the reviews tab and leave a rating and review. You can tell me what your favorite episode is, whatever you want to say, let the spirit move you. I would love to read a review from you if you've enjoyed any of these episodes from season 1. And that's a wrap for me from here. I'll catch you in season 2. This show may be over, but the conversation is just beginning. Head on over to naptimeempires.com/Facebook so you can join my free... Wait, did I say free? I meant priceless, rapidly growing community of Naptime Empire builders for deeper discussions, behind-the-scenes scoop, and of course, updates whenever I've got new stuff coming up for you. naptimeempires.com/Facebook. See you there.
See you next time. Thanks for listening.